Oh, I'm at a bit of a funny angle there. Let's see if I can sort that out. That's a bit better, hopefully. It's not much different, is it? Oh well. Morning, Alison. Right, let's share this to my page so that if people have forgotten that I'm on Sentimentally Yours, they know where to find me. Come on, Peter, hurry up. How are we all today? Hello, morning. Oh, it's loads of you. Far too many to say hello to individually. Thank you for joining me. So we had to do a little bit of jiggery pokery, but I'm here. I'm live on Sentimentally Yours for the first time, and this is a practice for something that's happening next weekend. But Phil will tell you all about that. That's not my job. More than my job's worth. It's a bit dark in here, but hopefully you can see that. Absolutely, yeah, Carol, I totally agree with you. Absolutely. We've not got sun in Milton Keynes. We've got a bit overcast, but it's not snowing, so it's absolutely fine. So today we're going to make a version of this card. I really like this card. It's got some really nice techniques on it, specifically the background. And this was a demo that I did during the... Thanks, Chrissy. Chrissy's saying, I bet people thought it was Phil. Are you saying that they're all going to sign off now? There might be people here that don't watch Phil and only watch me. Just saying. Any rude. So, yeah, I did this as a demo during the big birthday weekend at the end of February on Create and Craft, and I thought it would be really nice for us to have a record of how to do this. We are going to change things slightly. We're going to do different colours. We're going to use some different dyes, and we'll use different stamps as well. So you make me laugh. Yeah, I've got to keep my brain in gear here, so I know what I'm saying. Anyway, yeah, so I thought it would be good to have a record, because obviously this video will be available on the Sentimentally Yours Facebook page a couple of minutes after this finishes, and I'll load it onto my YouTube channel, and Phil may well put it onto his YouTube channel as well. So I think it's quite nice to have this particular this set of techniques available for you to look at whenever you want to, and you're not going to worry about this 60-day thing available on Rewind. So let's have a few more people. Phil gets over 100. Just saying. Hello. How are you, Jane? Welcome, Jane. So are you a new member of the Crafting with Phil, Martin and Sentimentally Yours group? If you're not already a member, do go and ask to join, because that's where you see lots of inspiration and sneak peeks where the new products are coming out. Oh, ice cream. That's quite early, Caroline, for ice cream, isn't it, in the day? I like ice cream for breakfast. There's never a wrong time for ice cream, even when it's freezing cold. Right, so let's make a start. Now, we are going to make this from scratch. I've done my die cutting, but I haven't decided on colours. I do more demos, but there's only one in this hour, but we are doing it from scratch. So I haven't decided on colours, so we are going to make the flowers from scratch, but there is only 3. Well, there's 6 die cuts, so it won't take me that long. It'll be absolutely fine. Morning, Gordon. My lovely. Right, so let's start. So we're not using paints in this one. We're using the Flawless Media pigment powders, the Radiant Luster pigment powders. And I think on this one, it was Summer Coral. And I think it's this one, Your Lilac Bouquet. Might be Enchanted Wisteria. And then it was the Lagoon Pool as well. So we had, those are the predominantly the colours in the background there. In fact, there is a bit of blue as well. So I think there's some of this cornflower petal in there as well. So, but we're going to do a totally different colour. Those are my kind of go-to colours, the teals and the blues and purples. So we're not going to go for those. We're going to go for something different. So I think what we might do is, let's see, I'm thinking we'll go for Orchid Whisper and Firecrackers. I've not used Firecracker very much. And then we can either bring in a yellow, or we can actually bring in the Summer Coral, or we can actually do all 4. Let's do that. Let's use all 4. I mean, we could go brighter again. We could use the African Sunset and the Summer Poppy, but I don't want it to be, I want it to be quite, have quite a romantic feel to this. So, so I think we'll go for those. I mean, they will be lighter once they're behind the double-sided adhesive and the glitter. So let's do that background first, because that kind of sets the tone for what else is going to go on. So where's my dies? So on this, let's go back to this one. See, I told you I'm all over the place. So in the background on this one, I don't know if you can just about see, we've got the wire texture die. And then this is a bit of the mesh texture die. But we're not going to use those 2. We're going to use the other 2 that are in the texture dies. So you can just see a difference, basically. These are Radiant Luster Pigment Powders, Flawless Media. They are a mica and pigment powder with a binder in them, but they are so versatile. You can use them in paints, lots and lots of different techniques. We'll do a few different techniques during this particular demonstration. So let's go for what we're using here. So instead of using the wire, we're going to use the Moroccan. I do need to make sure your mat's nice and clean. Mine could be cleaner. It's got a bit of texture paste on it, which isn't cleaned off. It's all in the prep, Julia. It's quite mucky, actually. Oh, well. So what we want to do is we want to have this, so the die is, it doesn't matter too much, but we've got the right side of the die facing up. And we're going to use a piece of double-sided adhesive sheet, which I put somewhere. Where did I put it? Oh, there it is. Double-sided adhesive sheet, and we're going to peel off the back of one side. And we're just going to pop this over the top. So remember, we're on the front. And if you pick that up and take your back in, and then pop the back in all over there. So that means that any kind of loose bits are bound. Make sure you put the right side down. So all that's now stuck to my double-sided adhesive, hopefully. Right. Let's go into a piece of paper so I don't make too much mess. And then we're going to use our powders. Oh dear. That's all right, Alice, don't worry. Oh, I've got a runny nose. Okay, so let's take some powders. I'll start with the lightest one first. This is your pale gold. So it's more of a yellow colour. And you just want a soft brush. This is one of the Cosmic Shimmer soft brushes. And you'll see in between, I'm using the same one always. Some of the pigment powders will actually colour your sorry, I'm just reading your comments. Some of them will actually be coloured with the pigments, but don't ever wash them. You don't need to wash them, not if you're just using them with the dry powders. So we're just going to dot some of the powders over, and because we're dealing with adhesive, whichever colour touches that adhesive first is the colour that's bound to it. So that's cleaning it off. That's all you need to do to clean the brush off. Then let's go for the Summer Coral. I store mine upside down, which is why I'm actually hitting the top. Because I like to see what colours there are, and I'm not organised enough to do swatches on the top. I like these colours together. Less is more, Julia. Or more is more in my case. Then let's go to Firecracker, because this is the next one up. Oh, that's very full, isn't it? Now, if I touch that now, that would poof, and I don't want it to poof. There we go. They're very full, these pots. You will find that some mica powders are heavier than others, so there might be some pots that have got more in than others, but it's not a problem. And let's go for a tiny, tiny bit of Orchid Whisper, and then we'll move it around. It'll all come out in the wash. It'll be fine. This is the darkest of the pinks. It's almost like a red. So have a little bit to break up that yellow. Right, so now we want to dot them around. So I can put my finger right down here and hold that, because I know that's going to be hidden by a frame. So when we're moving it around, remember, like I said, whatever colour touches it first is the colour that you're going to see. Move it around. Ooh. This is why I've got a piece of paper underneath. Now, you don't have to waste what's underneath, because if you actually put card underneath rather than paper, I mean, paper's okay, but the card's better. You could just spritz it with some water, and then that would bind it, and you've got a background started. Okay, that's all bound there. Just going to get rid of that. I've still made a mess anyway. So which I'm going to just get rid of that. Where's my Mr. Bottles? Mr. Bottles, where are you, Mr. Bottles? I'll have to use that one. Just because I don't want to contaminate the next section. So what we're going to do now is actually enclose this. It's my dirty bit of mat. And because we don't want this powder to escape. Now, I've done this in the past, and I haven't actually done this particular bit here, where I'm just going to encase it, and it's a mistake not to do this. So you might think, oh, it's a waste of double-sided adhesive. Well, if you've got some of that just sticky paper rather than double-sided adhesive, you can use that instead. So all I'm going to do now is pop another bit over the top here, and now we've encased that powder. Now I've got a little bit showing there. Hopefully that'll be all right. That's just to protect it from contaminating the next process. So the next process is to add some glitter. Still got stuff everywhere. I think that's off my hands. Right. Oh, it's off the other side, look. The other side's mucky. But when we peel that off, we'll be okay. Right. Peel this off. So this is the front. And we do see now some of the pattern that we've got underneath. And some of the beautiful colours. And then we're going to go for Diamond Dazzle. Now, Diamond Dazzle is the glitter that's clear. They're little discs of glitter, but they are clear. and so they've not got any of the Aurora Borealis in it, like the Crystal Aurora. So that means that you get the sparkle, but you still get the true colour of what's underneath. And that's why I'm using this one as opposed to the Crystal Aurora or the fine one, which is your Rainbow Sparkles. So I'm just rubbing that underneath. Now what happens if you didn't cover the back with another piece of adhesive? What can happen is that the powder can contaminate your glitter, because although you might have rubbed it off really well on the back, or think you have, the powders are very fine, and so they are going to interfere with your glitter, and they are going to merge with your glitter, and you end up having to throw your glitter away, which is not a very nice thing to do. So there's our background already, and it is a background. You don't have to stress about it too much, but you can see where I put those yellow in first. That's what has hit first. Nice and sparkly. Okay, so that's my background all done. So that's set the tone for the colours that I'm going to use on my other areas. Glitter everywhere. By choice, I'd rather do that bit last because there's glitter everywhere now. It's good to know that Trudy's watching with no volume, isn't it? Happy birthday, Trudy. She won't hear me say that, will she? Okay, that's just getting rid of the glitter, hopefully, so it doesn't go on my stamps. Right, so next, let's do one of the frames. So you're going to put 2 frames on there. But we've got this one here. This is your stitched torn rectangles. So this will be the one that dictates, let's pick this up, dictates how much of the background we see. See, as soon as you put a frame around anything, it just makes it look so much better, doesn't it? So I'm waiting for the video to catch up with me. But we're going to add a little bit of stamping to this. So let's grab our, on the original one I used this, which is your Très Chic Rose Blooms, but we're going to use the Mandala Crackle instead, I think. So we are going to dust this with an anti-static bag. I didn't sing happy birthday because I can't sing. At least I don't think I did. I don't remember. I don't remember what I did 5 seconds ago. Anything could be coming out of my mouth right now. Right, so let's use this Mandala Crackle. And so this is a DL stamp. I'm going to take a swig. Okay. So we're not going to put this on a block. We could do, but then you've got to try and match it all up. But so I don't want to do that. I'm just going to use the stamp in my hand. Stretch it off the acrylic. And we want our Versamark. I think just to make clean up a little bit easier, I am going to do it on a piece of paper. Piece of paper's everywhere. So Versamark. So Versamark is sticky ink, and it will adhere your powders, and it will adhere your embossing powder as well. Oh, and it's quite sticky, as you can tell. Let's just have a little bit there. Trouble is you can't see where it is, but it doesn't matter. You're not going to see much of this frame anyway. I think it went there. If it overlaps, it doesn't matter. If there's gaps, it doesn't matter. It is easier to do this. This is pure white card, not watercolour card. It is easier to do it on the pure white because it's not quite as absorbent as the watercolour card. You can do this on watercolour, but you've got to work a bit quicker. So let's see. I think we can go down there like that. I think we're pretty much covered. We'll soon find out, won't we? Soon find out. It's like that magic painting that you used to have as a kid. You don't actually know what's going to happen until you actually do it. Let's go on this side now. And let's take some of our powders. So I'm not going to do all 4 of them. I'm just going to do, I think I'll do a little bit of pink. This is the Summer Coral. See whether we've got anything on there at all. We have got quite a pale bit of Summer Coral there. Quite a romantic colour, this one, I think. And let's go a bit darker now, because remember that I can't put anything else on top of that that'll make a difference. Let's go for the Orchid Whisper. This will pop a bit more. Edge. So you don't need to worry too much, because it is going to be a frame that's hidden mostly. Just adds a little bit more interest around the edges rather than having 2 white ones, or a black or a white one. So we can now take, let's get rid of this. We can take a dry wet wipe, so the cheapest wipe ever, leave them to dry. I've got a whole load of these, and if you rub these over the top, then it gets rid of any excess. Okay, and then just to bind it, we're going to just mist it with some water, and that makes it pop even more. And put that aside to dry. So that's another wet bit done. I did go to Hailing Island. Yes, I did, Cynthia. I was with Creative Expressions then. I think Phil was there as well. I think Phil was there for, I want to say Hunky Dory. It was a long time ago, actually. Very long time ago. It wasn't demos, they were workshops. House move going. It's a non-event, Diane. Still haven't found a buyer for my mum's house. It's empty, so it looks bigger. It just needs that one person to go around and have a bit of imagination and see the potential of the amount of land that you get with it, which is, you can build another house or 2 if they're little townhouses on the land that's attached to my mum's. If you knock the whole lot down, then you can build quite a bit. Right, next, flowers. Let's do our flowers so they can dry before I shape them. My box of goodies. We do need to stamp a sentiment as well. So like I said, we'll start doing this from scratch. Seeing as our Mr. M sometimes takes 2 hours to do a Facebook Live, we won't be 2 hours, I can guarantee you that. And I didn't know what colours I wanted to use. What would be lovely actually is if you did this in metallics as well. So if you did the gold, the silver and the copper together, that would be absolutely beautiful. So we've got some of the delicate flowers here. And we're just going to colour these. So I've got 3 different sizes, 2 of each. And I think we'll go with, decisions. Let's go with the Firecracker. So, where's my palette? Put my palette somewhere. I know it's here somewhere. I'll give up in a minute. Can you see my palette? Of course you can't. Where have I put it? It's my indigo blue one. I had it yesterday because I used it yesterday. So I know it's here. Oh, for heaven's sake, Julian, why can't you find anything in your craft room? Drives me nuts. I drive myself nuts. Absolutely nuts. Right, we won't worry about that too much then. We'll just use one of these palettes. Honestly, I'll find it in a second when I don't need it. And I've got a paintbrush on here. Here we go. Yes, I'm really surprised it's not sold yet, Chrissy. It would be a really good family home, because obviously, I mean, my mum and dad moved there when I was about 18 months old. So they've been there for 58 years. So yeah, it's really good. It's a good size house. It's detached. It's got a lot of land to it, considering the area it's in. It's on the road next to the primary school. It's quite close to the comprehensive school as well. It's very close to the Merry Hill. It's on the approach to the Merry Hill Centre. So there's loads of shopping, lots of facilities, lots of takeaways. It's in a really good area, and it's interesting because originally the road was only 9 houses long, and my mum and dad's was number 8, and so it's a little cul-de-sac, and my mum and dad were original owners from like 58 years ago, and then there's 2 other people in the road who are original owners as well. So that's how, you know, people don't move away. There's a few that are on their 2nd or 3rd. So it must be all right if people don't move. So we're just going to paint the inside of this. So we're just flicking. This is the firecracker, which is a lovely kind of corally pink. This would go well with the saltwater taffy, actually, oxide, I think. So we're just using our brush just to move the colour. So this has made the pigment powder into a paint, which is one of the most basic things that you can do with it. The standard watercolour techniques apply, so that the more water you add, the lighter it's going to be. You do need to remember though, because it's got mica in it, you don't get as much luster, as much shine if you water it down too much. If you stamp and emboss, the embossed lines will repel the powder. If you don't emboss, then you'll find you'll lose your line art because the mica will cover it up. So you do need to stamp and emboss if you're actually colouring in, unless you're very good at not going outside of the lines. If you want to lighten it, and there is a video on my YouTube channel that shows you all about how you can lighten and darken these powders. But you can, if you want to lighten it, you can add the Lunar Pearl to it, and it will lighten it. And obviously you need to make sure that you mix enough paint for your project if you're lightening it or darkening it. So you can darken it with the obsidian, which is like the black. And you've got multiple shades, well, just loads of shades in between. Obviously the more of the black or the white that you add, the lighter or the darker it will go. So they are one of my favourite mediums ever, because they're so versatile. You can mix them with your texture paste, you can add them on the top of your texture paste, you can mix them with embossing powder and make your own custom embossing powder. Ilona's been putting them successfully into misters. I'm still not convinced that over time they won't actually block, but obviously if you just mix a little bit at a time, then you just use them for your projects, and they're going to make wonderful backgrounds. And of course, because they've got mica powder in them, you see them on black card, which is a real bonus. You can add these to distress inks and change the colour of your distress inks and make them pearlescent as well. They're just a fabulous product. I can't kind of rave about them enough, really, because they're just my go-tos, really. Mary Hill. Yeah. There's actually a drive-through Starbucks at Mary Hill now, which I was very pleased to find. Right, let's leave those to dry for a minute just before we shape them, and let's actually stamp our sentiments. So for our sentiments, we're going to use, from the tray chic, we're going to use the Mandala circle frames and the mini sentiments. All the products I'm using you can find either at Honeypot Crafts or at my website, juliawattscrafts.co.uk. I think we've got everything in stock on both sites at the moment that I'm using. Right, so this is the dodgy bit. I say it's not dodgy. It's a dodgy bit. This is me being dodgy. So I think I'm going to go in my platform for the circle. I won't stamp it straight because I just can't do it straight, even in the platform. Let's move this to one side. I will do the sentiment freehand though. Say freehand, on a block. Oh, so many empty shops. Yeah, that is the problem, isn't it, with a big shopping centre like the Merry Hill. I mean, the Merry Hill's a nightmare to drive around, though, isn't it? You know, at sort of rush hour, sort of 5 o'clock. It's just, even in the morning, because when I was there last, it took my auntie, who lives in Lower Gornal. It took her an hour to get from Lower Gornal to where my mum lives, which isn't very far at all. It should be 10 minutes maximum. So yeah, just a bit of a nightmare, the traffic round there. See, I'm used to Milton Keynes, which flows all the time because of the grid system. So let's pop that one in there. So I've gone for the one that's like the, by accident actually, because I wasn't thinking, I was talking. I can't do both. I've gone for the one that's like the Mandala Crackle actually, which is really good because they do actually match and fit in really nicely. The elements, you know, from the backgrounds are in the frames and also in the big A4 set as well. Has that moved? No, I think we're all right. It might not be 100%, but it's just a little bit of insurance because I'm more confident about stamping with my stamping platform, something like this. Yeah, did you lose your craft shop after COVID, Carol? I mean that's the problem that's hit so many shops, hasn't it? Because people started to shop online because of the fact that the shops weren't allowed to be open, and then they've just stayed there. I mean, personally, I'm happy that people shop online, but it's nice to have a bit of both, isn't it? There's my palette. I told you I'd find it when I was looking for something else. Oh, what am I like? If you can't laugh at yourself, I don't know. That's all right, Helen. Yeah. With all the roundabout. Oh, do you really? Well, what you have to remember with Milton Keynes is it's all horizontals and verticals. So it's H roads and V roads. So you can always go around the, you know, if there's a bit of roadworks, you can always go around, which is really, I think if you live here, you understand it. If you don't live here, it can be a nightmare. So with love for you, or we can have on your special day, just for you. Let's have just for you. So these are the mini sentiments. There are bigger sentiments in the collection, but these are the ones that actually come with, I want to do it on a little block. These are the ones that actually come with the mandalas as well. So I might regret this, but I'm normally all right. I love little dinky sentiments because you can, you know, because I've got a habit of filling up my card and then not having room for a sentiment. So it's really nice to have some little dinky ones that you can actually just pop in at any point, anywhere. Yeah, Honeypot Crafts now is in Sheffield, yeah. It's a lovely big store, Carol. And there's workshops there as well. Phil does one on a Wednesday once a fortnight, and Karen does them as well. I think Karen's are at the weekends. There we go. There's our sentiment already done. So let's shape our flowers. Now they're dry. So you can see you've got that lovely kind of luster going on that. How are we doing for time? 36. That's not too bad, actually. We've only really got construction really after this. So where's my shaping tool? So I'm using one of these, had them forever, and I'm going to work on the back, and I'm just going to do like a spider kind of thing. So it's a really bad thing, but if your ball tool isn't running, if you run it down the side of your nose, then the oils from your nose actually lubricate it. If you don't like doing that, then you can just pop it into some, rub it in your Versamark pad or your Perfect Medium pad. But this obviously is just quicker for me. I'm just running it down the petals so they all curl in. So you've got like a spider going on. Is that the other big one? That's that big one, that big one. Do them in pairs so I don't lose where I am. And this is what they call a moulding mat. You can use the back of a stamping mat if you want to. But I've got these from years ago. I used to use them in my workshop, so I've got a whole pile of these. I ought to get rid of some in my pre-love section. I'll try and do that at some point. They're very handy. So just giving the daisies a bit of a shape. You wait till we see what we've got coming next week. Some exciting stuff. And then I've seen Phil's drawing some more for later in, some more stamps for later in April as well. He's very busy. Very busy. Those are those two. And then these two. Ah, yeah. Oh, I hope you feel better soon. So again, these flowers were on the pure white card. I tend to like card for my flowers rather than paper. Unless it's I like the pattern papers. The Sentimentally Yours pattern papers are 190 GSM, so they're a very good quality paper. So I like those as well. So we're just going to turn these over, and when you turn them over and press in the middle, then they kind of pop up a bit. And so we've got two of those, put one there. We've got two this size. Give those a plonk. So I like to double mine up rather than use them singly. We all do our flowers slightly differently. There's no right or wrong. There's whatever you like the look of. And then with the stamens, so these are the stamen sets. If you haven't got the stamens, Phil isn't restocking these. So we're just going to use circular motions just in the centre, and then they pop up. And there's 6 different designs, 3 sizes of each, and so I've got one of each size here. So the big one's going to go in the big one, the dinky one's going to go in the dinky one, and that's it. It's not so dinky. Right, let's glue these together. Just a bit of glue in the centre. Normally, like I say, I do my flowers ahead of time, most of them, but we're doing everything on the hoof, as it were. And we offset. They're not 100% symmetrical. Well, they're not symmetrical because flowers aren't really. So when you offset them, sometimes you find that they don't actually offset like you'd like them to. but they are daisies, and daisies aren't neat and tidy flowers. One of my favourite flowers, daisies. And magnolias. Oh, magnificent magnolias this time of year. But of course we've had the frost, haven't we? I don't know if it's taken some of the flowers, which is really sad. Right, so let's do that one. And then we pop our stamens in the centre. It's amazing, isn't it, that just white card. I mean, we're only using black and white card on this card. And, I mean, we could have painted the stamens as well, if we wanted to. But I'm going to have a black for a pop of black, because we got the black on the sentiments, and we're going to have black on one of the matten layers as well. That's then going in the centre. And when you use wet glue, you will find that the flowers tend to keep their shape really nicely. And I think in the centres we're going to use some of those lovely rhinestone gems. So we've got the, these are the Aurora from the Crystal Gemporium. So you can only get these from Honey Pot Crafts. I haven't got these because he won't let me have these. I might have mentioned it once or twice that he won't let me have these. In here we've got 5mm, which are these ones. Oh, and we've got the 8mm as well. They really are rather lovely. That's all right. Yes, that's absolutely fine, Jane. It'll be on the Sentimentally Yours Facebook page, and we'll also put it on our YouTube channels as well. So we're going to put some glue in the centre and add our gems. Where's my pickup tool? Pickup tool, such a useful product, this. I really didn't understand how much I'd use it until Phil put these out. It is, yes, it's 270 GSM. Yeah, the pure white. Just give it a press. I'm not worried about glue oozing out because it dries clear. Never worries me. Could have gone for a smaller one in there, but I like them to be all the same size. It's all a personal preference. Oh, stuck to my finger. Get off. Must have some glue on my finger. Come here. Right, we'll leave those to one side for a minute. And I want to tie this in with everything. So we're going to go to our palette again. And a little bit of kitchen sponge. I think that might need a little bit of a mist. So you can see these are from when I was doing one of my Facebook Live last week, so I can just reconstitute those. So I'm just going to take a piece of kitchen sponge and we're going to pick up the firecracker. Sorry about the squeaks. Just be careful because this is Nocturne Versifying Clay, so it might be wet still. So just like you do with your Distress ink, I'm just going to take the sponge and I'm going to put it around the edge here. So remember, this is going to be a bit pearlescent, so it's not quite the same as if you were, say, using your saltwater taffy. And we're going to do it on the sentiment piece as well. Okay, that's that. And that will obviously just wash out when I wash it. How are we doing? Yeah, I think we're good. Right, so let's go to our frames. Let's do first, before we do that, let's get our backing all ready. So we've just got some pieces of pure white and black card here for our mats and layers. I know you guys like to know sizes, so if I can find my ruler, which I'll put somewhere, or if I can't find my ruler, I had it. What am I like today? I'm just, if you honestly, there it is. If you saw my craft room, I have got about 3 or 4 rulers in here. Right, so the outside card is 7 3/4 by, I think it's 6.5. Obviously you don't have to use as many mats and layers if you don't want to, but that's how big it is. So we're just going to glue this white one on here, I think. Yes. Right, so thank you for your comments. It's lovely to have your feedback. Okay, so then we're going to put it onto, I think we are going to go 2mm on this. Band tape. Here we go again. Scissors. I know they're here somewhere because I use them. Oh, for heaven's sake. What am I... I'm driving myself nuts. I'm going to use these. These are non-stick. I keep on saying don't tidy up because if I tidy up I can't find anything. So I can't find anything when I don't tidy up either. So I'm doomed. So we don't want a saggy middle, so we add a little bit in the middle. Just to give us a bit of height. If this was one of Phil's cards, he'd have another 6 or 7 layers behind this one. But don't tell him I said that. Oh dear. Right. You gotta laugh at your own jokes, haven't you? Right, let's see if we can get this straight. There we go. Okay, so now we're going for our frame. So instead of using the mesh like I did on the original one, we're going to use the grid and we're going to just tear it a bit. If you're uncomfortable tearing, then just cut it. I don't want loads. I'm going to have just a little bit up there and we're going to have a little bit of down the other side as well. And then I've got that I can use for something else. This is a really good die for, you can use it as a stencil. I mean, we do have a grid stencil anyway, but you can use this as a stencil. But I mean, obviously I can use this, what's left over, on another project. So that's going to go top and bottom. Let me just check what I did on this. Oh yes, I did it on that one. So let's get our coloured frame on. This one, that's nice and dry now. So remember I put some water on it to bind it. They won't stand lots of rubbing. I hate it when people rub my samples, actually. You know, when people come up when we're at shows and they go, oh, that's nice, you know. And I remember once years ago having a sample, and by the end of the weekend at Ali Pali you couldn't see anything because it'd been rubbed that much that there was nothing to see anymore. I mean, it's lovely to see people, but don't rub the image off my card because it's only fit for the bin once there's no image on it. Anywho, it's bound to a certain degree, but it won't take a lot of rubbing. But we don't tend to rub cards, really, do we? We shouldn't. Okay, so because it's going on to glitter card effectively, we're going to put some glue on the back of this. I was quite pleased with that card as well. I can't remember what was on it, but it was quite nice. I think it was like a face or something. So again, I put 2mm foam tape on the frame, and we'll put some glue on as well. Oh, sorry about the little noise it made. That was the glue. So here I'm using the glue so it will bind to the glitter rather than being able to move the frame around. So I'm not too worried about that. And flowers are going to go top and bottom, isn't it? Yeah. Oh, is it too? It doesn't matter if it's too big, to be honest, because we're putting another frame on as well. I do want it to be straight though, so let me just study that. Right, I think that's okay. Then we're going to put our other frame on, which I've already got tape on, you'll be pleased to know. And again, this is, you don't have to put as much foam tape on, you can just put this frame, glue it directly on top, but I'd already got this frame cut out with some tape on, so I just thought I'd use it. And this one I'm not going to bother with glue. I'm just going to put that one on there like so. So this is obviously a plain one, a plain frame, and I don't want to add too much colour to it, so I want to break up all the designs, so that's why I've left that one plain. I don't think I explained myself very well, and I've forgotten to put my blooming background in. Why do I always forget to put these in? Because I'm a plonker, that's why. Absolute plonker. We can glue this in, it's fine. Don't worry. It'll be alright. It'll be alright. Don't panic. Let's slide that in. Oh. Down there. Try and get it straight. Hear it crackle. It's like walking on snow, isn't it? Actually, I'll make life a little bit easy and cut these side bits off. And then it'll sit in a bit easier. A number of times I forget to put, I mean, I know a lot of you watch quite a few of my videos. I know how many times I've forgotten to put this in. Loads. Sometimes I haven't wanted to though, and it's been like a karma, and I haven't needed to anyway. But I did want to put this one in. So that's going to go in like so. It does hide a bit of my background, but I'm fine with that. Absolutely fine with that. That's not straight. Stay straight, please. Right. Okay, so now we can put this onto our what's it background. Now, when I did this on the TV, I did make a bit of a mistake, but I kind of hid it because this is double-sided adhesive on here, so you might as well use it. And if you don't use it, you find that things don't stick very well. So we might as well see if we can get the backing off. Talk amongst yourselves. I just need to find a bit where I can grab the backing. Or I might glue it. It's because it's quite thin. Come here. Oh, for goodness sake. You know when you have one of them days? This is that day. Come on. Come off, will you please? There we go. Finally. Finally. So obviously you've got to try and get, you're committed to this because it is double-sided, so you're not going to be able to move it around. So make sure you know where you're going with this. That's not straight. Stay straight. Right. Work around the camera. It's not easy to stick things straight when you're working around a camera. Come here. Oh, that's down, that is, it's staying. Oh. Right, that's where it's staying. Okay. Hopefully that's straight. I think it is. Right, okay, so now we're going to just add our other bits and pieces. So this is going to go here, like so, which will help that stick down. Got glitter everywhere. And we want our 2mm. So where do we want it? We want it about there. And then we'll put a bit of glue on the other side. So obviously we've got steps, you see, with the different foam tape. Probably could do with a bit more. One sec. Because remember, we're going up 2 lots of 2, aren't we? So I probably need another one. See, Phil Wood uses pin flare, and that's the beauty of pin flare, that you can actually have your steps, can't you? Let's have a bit more glue on that side there. Let's move it up a bit so you can see. That's better. And then we're going to have Just For You, which we're just going to put on a 1mm. So we don't want that raised too much, but we do want it raised a bit. It's quite effective having the firecracker powder around the edge, I think. Ties it all in nicely. Get this straight. Just For You in the centre. Then we're going to bring in our flowers and our leaves. So we've got the floaty fronds. So we're going to have a couple of these. So you get a right and a left with the floaty fronds if you've not come across them before. And 2 sizes. This is the smaller of them. So I know Phil likes to put his leaves, tuck his leaves in second, whereas I do mine first. We all do things slightly differently. They're in our flowers. Let's put the glue on the back of the flowers first, and then we can put them on. So we have our biggest one here. And then the smallest one, tuck it in there. And our next size one there, like so. And then we just finish off with some pearls in the corner, not pearls, rhinestones in the corner. The frame stick down it. Where's my rhinestones? Here we go. Unorganised chaos, that's what it is. Pick up tools. So I'm not going to put one down here because, well, I might. I don't know. I might change my mind. I did originally. But then my flowers were a little bit further up. Yeah, let's have one. Should we have one there? I don't think it's going to... I don't like it because I can actually see the corner. That would bug me. So I'd rather see a little bit of a gem than an empty corner. That's just me. So let's clear away the debris a bit. There we have it. So it's a slightly different colourway to the original one, and we've used slightly different stamps. We've used different dies here. So I'll just bring in the original one so you can see them side by side. If they fit. Let's see if I can move them over so they both fit. They kind of do, don't they? So we've got, to recap, the colours that I've used on this one are the Summer Coral, the Pale Gold, the Firecracker, and the Orchid Whisper from your Flawless Media Radiant Luster Pigment Powders. And this one, I think, was the Lagoon Pool, the... what was it called? Lilac Bouquet, Summer Coral again, and there's the Cerulean Sky, Cornflower Petal on here. Although that might be Cerulean Sky actually around there. So yeah, I hope you've enjoyed that. Yeah, a lot of sparkle, and yeah, don't forget that you'll find the products on either Honeypot Crafts or on my Julia Watts Crafts website. I will just quickly share with you the links for our YouTube channels, so so you've got those to hand. So my channel is here, so it'd be lovely if you could subscribe and like and comment on the video. I've got over 100 videos on my channel, because I work for a few different companies, and Phil's just building his up, so he will actually be doing more, and there will be more added specifically just for YouTube. So the link for Phil's channel is here. There we go. So you have them both to hand. And don't forget, next weekend we've got a big weekend coming up on Facebook, and there will be live demonstrations on Saturday, Sunday and Monday. I think Phil's doing Saturday, Karen's doing Sunday, and I'm doing Monday. So that will be exciting. And thank you for joining me, and enjoy the rest of your day. See you soon. Bye.